Oh, you don't want the grapes?
No, not yet. Oh, God. Oh, boy. Okay. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Zeta. Da-da-da-da-da. Okay. Get me a...
Congress passed legislation last year that banned TikTok unless it's sold to a government-approved buyer. President Biden signed the bill into law in April, and now the deadline for the Chinese company to sell is just 9 days away. TikTok and some of its users sued to stop the law from taking effect. They say it violates their free speech rights under the First Amendment. So what is all of the takeaway from today's oral arguments, and what does this actually mean next? Ms. Forster Wilder joins us now. So break this down, because I know this affects a lot of people, and they're wondering how they're going to stay able to get their TikTok dances on.
Yeah, we're not getting TikTok dance on at least for the next few days. Nothing is changing right now, but the Supreme Court justices did not seem particularly impressed with TikTok's free speech arguments, signaling that the court might be leaning toward upholding the law that would ban the most popular social media app in the world. Now, the court could issue at least a preliminary decision in a couple of days, if not a couple of hours. And that's because this law banning TikTok is set to go into effect in just 9 days on January 19th. But the timeline here is tricky for the Supreme Court, and this is huge for TikTok users. So 9 days, that's a quick turnaround for a case of this scale, impacting millions of Americans. Not to mention, the ban would go into effect the day before elect Donald Trump is sworn in. And Trump has already asked the Supreme Court to temporarily prevent this ban from going into effect, because he says once he's in office, he wants to, quote, pursue a political resolution to this dispute. Now, that is an option for the court, but the justices seemed pretty compelled today by the government's argument that TikTok poses a national security threat because its Chinese-based parent company could be compelled by the Chinese government to hand over the data that the app has already collected on millions of Americans. So again, given this tight timeline, it's likely the Supreme Court will make at least a preliminary decision very soon here.
I know a lot of people are watching this. If the Supreme Court goes ahead and they uphold this ban, what happens January 19th? Does the app just vanish from your phone?
Right, you wake up in the morning and all the apps are going crazy. You're trying to figure out what's there.
Yeah.
So the short answer is no. The app's not going to go anywhere on your phone. It's going to stay there even if the ban goes into effect. And that's because the law banning TikTok would not make it illegal to have the app on your phone. If you already have the app, it's not going anywhere unless you delete it yourself. But here's the rub. The law would ban software updates. So you might still be able to open the app, see content that's already there even, but you won't be able to add any new content. And eventually, if this app is not getting the software updates it needs, it's not going to work. In addition to banning updates, it also bans new downloads and new users. So the apps this ban would require the app stores like Google and Apple to pull TikTok from their app stores. The law would also ban access to TikTok on computers, and really the only way to maybe still access TikTok if this ban goes into effect is if you use what's called a virtual private network, or a VPN, that uses encryption to basically hide your location. So you might still get some access that way, but that's not exactly how most people use TikTok.
Right, absolutely. That's interesting. All right, Drew, thank you. We'll see what happens. All right, thanks. All right, we are in weather alert mode today because we've been talking about it again. The snow. Take a look at this first. Here's a good reminder to clean off the snow and ice. Did you see that happen? A chunk of ice flew off a car in through a windshield. This video is from a truck driver in Kansas. Watch again. The glass actually cut the driver, but the driver was able to safely bring the truck to a stop. So make sure you clean off your vehicle before you hit the road to avoid situations.
Sarah.
Yeah, I know we're dealing with some spotty signals, so I appreciate you guys dealing with that and putting up with that. It's the reality of these situations when we have down power and limited resources here. But you just heard from a man. He's lived in his home since 1960, I want to say, and not just been his home for years. And then he said he was in World War II, and he was in Germany during that time, and compared his home and all the destruction around it to that. So that really just puts things into perspective for you.
Yeah, a lot of people know that face and that voice of Eric right now. All right, Sarah Allegri on the West Coast Sports tonight.
Yeah.
Sarah, thank you.
Okay, meanwhile, back here at home, we're dealing with potentially what could be round 2 here coming in a few hours.
All right, take it away.
Yeah, a little bit of round 2 coming in. It's not going to be as much as Monday. We do want to stress that likely to be a lighter, fine snow that comes across the D.C. region after a 36-degree day. 9 days below normal this afternoon.
So I think Laramie, well, let me ask you this. If somebody is not normally vocal, if that's not their role, do you need them to be that role, or should other guys step up?
No, I don't think you have to be someone you're not comfortable being. However, as a coach, you need to know what you need in that room. You need to go find someone that needs to be that local guy. Whether it's your senior quarterback coach, you as a DC guy popping in that meeting room.
Hello?
Someone needs to do that. Someone needs to have that accountability.
Hey, but Bamboozle.
Brought in, like, you know what? Y'all compete for this.
Oh, yeah.
Like, compete for the prize. Because what we had last year, it ain't that.
Amen. How you bless you?
I think it's going to be receivers. I think it's going to be back and running back. I think it's going to be everywhere, honestly. Like, you need a highly competitive.
I am?
Oh,
Lord.
there was so little.
Highly competitive.
There was almost no competition.
Oh, Lord.
Who we thought the guys were are not the guys
Yes.
we thought they were.
Correct.
It's gonna be like that scene of Batman when Joker takes that pool stick and snaps it and says, "Y'all figure this out."
Yeah.
Y'all figure it out.
It's going to be interesting, man, because they got to compete.
Yeah, thank you, appreciate that. Let me go ahead and log
I
off.
hate to say it about Tank. I don't think Tank.
Oh, Lord, okay.
I'll be honest with you right now. I had that.
Oh, man, I am live,
You dislocated your.
eating my salad.
ACL, MCL.
Oh, Lord. I see you guys at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
In my career, I was
Lord. Lord. I hit the off